I found a feather on the ground. It's black, but when I turn it around, something happens. It has a green shimmer, almost like a color that only exists if you hold it at exactly the right angle. My first thought was that it's from a magpie. My second thought made me think for longer than I expected to. Because I found myself thinking, until yesterday, this was part of what made a bird able to fly. It's been through weather I didn't see, soaring above this place, diving toward the ground, rushing to escape something. All of that history compressed into this little thing lying on the path. It looks like a keepsake, something decorative, something still. You would never know from looking at it what it has carried. I met a woman once at a humanitarian conference, years ago when I used to work for the Red Cross. It was the kind of gathering where you quickly learn to read the room. Who is there for the cause? Who is there for the networking? Who is just beginning and still has that light in their eyes? She definitely had the light. Eloquent, passionate, exactly the kind of person these rooms tend to produce. I assumed I knew what I was seeing. We kept talking and slowly something shifted. I started to understand that she wasn't there because everything had aligned for her. She was there despite everything. You see, she had been born with a rare lung condition. A childhood spent on the edges of things, watching other children do what her body wouldn't allow. But something in her reached past all of that. She had decided to help others, even as one might reasonably think she was the one who needed help. And her lungs were failing. Without a transplant within the next couple of years, she would die. She knew this. She was there anyway. What stopped me wasn't the diagnosis. It was the distance. The gap between what I had walked into that conversation assuming and what had been there the whole time. I think about her sometimes. Not often, but she comes back from time to time when I find myself in need of a reminder of life's fragility and of the hope that is quietly around us in people we almost walk past without seeing. What I keep returning to is something I couldn't see when I walked into that conversation. Between the surface of someone and what they're actually carrying. She looked like the room. Confident, vocal, capable, and underneath that, she was running on almost nothing and choosing to spend it on others. We do this constantly, with everyone around us. We read what's visible and assume we understand the story. The person in the meeting who seems fine, the colleagues who move through the day without complaint, the stranger at the conference who look like every other stranger. We see the feather on the ground. We don't see the flight. I don't know what happened to her. That's the part that stays with me most. There was no second conversation. No way to follow the thread. She stepped back into that conference and whatever came after, she carried it somewhere I couldn't see. She may have gotten her transplant. She may be somewhere right now doing exactly the kind of work she was doing that day with new lungs and more time than she expected. Or the world lost her quietly without most of us knowing. There is something in the not knowing that I've stopped trying to resolve. Because it's the same not knowing I have about the bird. The feather tells me nothing about what happened after it fell. Whether the bird is still flying somewhere, still soaring and diving and escaping, I hold the feather anyway. I let it matter anyway. What she gave me, without knowing she was giving me anything, was a way of standing in front of people. The reminder that the surface is almost never the whole story. That the person in front of you has been through things the room cannot see. That what looks like confidence might be the decision to keep going despite everything. What looks like ordinary might be someone spending their last good energy on something they believe in. I never met her again. I have no idea if she got her new lungs. But I hope she did. Or the world is a poorer place.